Alright guys, what's going on? Today is May 8th. I am still home. I came in on April 24th. I did go in service for about 2 days earlier this week, and I didn't get anything. So I just went ahead and went back out of service. My wife had surgery on her knee yesterday. I can't be at the hospital because of this Rona. She's supposed to get discharged today, so I'll be picking her up later on today. I've talked with a few drivers, and they still, many of them not getting hardly any miles. That's even in the straight trucks. What's crazy though is I've seen a couple that are burning it up, and I would love to be able to talk to them and know that I'm getting an honest answer from them to find out what kind of rates they're running for. Because there's one guy in particular, and I don't know him. I have him on my Facebook. He's in a couple of groups as well, and he's with Panther. And Panther don't really run you the greatest anyhow. Now, and that's not to say you can't get miles with them. I'm just saying overall, in general, you don't get a shit ton of miles off of out of Panther. But there is a driver, and he's a newer guy. I think he's been expediting, pretty sure, less than a year, probably right around 6 to 8 months. I know there was one point that he was looking at getting out of it because he said he was doing it. They're saying that he was in the top 5% of drivers getting loaded miles for the last month in April. And his loaded miles was over 12,000 loaded miles. Now, there's times I try to be careful with what I'm saying, because unless I know something 100%, but unlikely that his rates are worth the shit at 12,000 miles. And then the thing is, which, what I'm about to mention next, it comes into a big issue out here concerning why the industry is what it is, and that's the driver. I mean, the driver's, I'm not trying to say he's a fucking idiot or, he's retarded or anything like that, but he's definitely not up to par on his knowledge of what the rate should be and the industry in general. And you guys, any of you guys that are on Facebook or driving, you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. You can see guys that just don't give a shit, man. They're just like, oh, you get me a load, and they don't have, and those are usually guys that don't even have a home base, don't even have anything, and sometimes they're even, got family overseas or whatnot. So, this guy doesn't really seem like he even knows what he should be getting. So I'd love to know what he got rate-wise. Some of you guys probably think, oh, it ain't none of your fucking business. Well, it is my fucking business when it affects everybody else in the fucking industry. Everybody's getting affected by what idiots do. And unfortunately, there's more idiots out here than there are people that know what they should be doing, know their value, know their worth. And it's difficult, especially times like this, because it does ultimately fall on the driver as far as the responsibility of why the rates are shit. I mean, because I don't care whether you work for a fleet owner or own your own shit, you don't have to take a load for shit rates. If you know that the rates are shit, which you should be able to tell the rates ain't shit, because you should be able to tell by your pay. And if you don't know if your pay is worth a damn compared to somewhere else or what it should be, the average, well, that's what I'm saying is the problem, because you don't know that information, and that's the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not giving a free pass to brokers, because brokers are pieces of shit too overall. There's some grimy ass people, and a lot of them are no different than drivers. It's an easy thing to get into and sit at home and put out these loads and know that the more you keep off of this load, the more you're going to earn. So, some people are just assholes and just don't want to give the driver any money as far as frustrating to see what's going on out there right now, and it shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. Touched on it before. Many other guys have touched on it. It's all over the freaking Facebook groups. It's probably beating a dead horse, but this is, I guess you can call it my therapy, man. This is my damn therapy. Getting to vent to you guys and just in general. But yeah, there's a couple guys that are out there that are doing like the guy with the 12,000 loaded miles, and you just, people that's been out here for a while and know the business and pay attention to things, you know that's not happening. Working for a carrier, especially like that, and the rates ain't shit. There's just no way. I ain't buying it. You know, with all that being said, you know, it's one thing, we can all continue to bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch about the problem. The unfortunate thing is there aren't enough people trying to figure out a solution. You know, one I heard mentioned, I seen it on Overdrive, I think, Overdrive magazine article, I think I seen it in. It was one of those publications, and also a YouTube channel I watch, Toe Piglet. He touched on it as well, as far as to where the brokers should have to, you should be able to know what the broker got paid for the load that they brokered. I don't see any issues with that. I mean, there's supposed to be transparency with in all avenues of business, as far as knowing what costs are, what income, you know, things like that. You're just supposed to know those things, and with brokers, you don't. You go into it blind. I mean, they can tell you, oh, that's all I got in it. Bullshit. Bullshit. And some of them that may be telling the truth, well, guess what? They probably got it double brokered off of another. They probably got it off another broker, and they're trying to squeeze their couple of pennies out of it. And therein lies, you know, one of the problems with the brokers. You know, they're all trying to squeeze everything they can, and, you know, they'll give it from broker to broker. You know, and it's bullshit. So, but what's the solution? And again, that seems like a good idea. I guess the problem with it is, can you trust that? Even if they started doing that, could you trust that they're being truthful on it, or they don't cook the books, so to speak? You just don't know. But that would definitely be helpful to know what these brokers are getting for some of these loads. Well, for all of them, just so you know what you should be able to bid. I mean, we deserve a fair price. I mean, everybody deserves money for what they're doing, but the drivers are the ones that are getting squeezed out the most. And maybe I'm being biased because I'm a driver, but that's what I see. I mean, just looking at things rationally and objectively, you should be able to see that. Drivers are the ones being on the road living. Now, we make that choice, and I've mentioned before, if you don't like that, you know, the money alone isn't worth doing it, because it's not. If you're out here for money alone, driving over the road, man, it ain't worth it. You got to enjoy everything about the job, the combination of the money and what the job entails for this job to be worth it. Other than that, like I said, money's squat shit. Like, especially if you took it and actually did the math on it for the hours you put in on the road and the amount of money, I mean, you're making peanuts. I mean, you're making way less than minimum wage. So it's just a messed up situation. As I said, I'm just rambling in this video about a few things because I just needed to get it off my chest. But anyhow, enough on that. I been doing a few things while I've been home. Got a few things done in the back of the van. I'll have a video out soon enough on what all I did back there, because redid some shelves, the wall panels, trying to get it completely done by the time I leave. Biggest reason I was able to stay in is that I was able to get the PPP loan, that Paycheck Protection Program loan. I couldn't find a bank, finally found a bank, and what's crazy is how quickly and easy it went. I was really surprised at that. Kind of makes you worry when things go extremely well. And that's kind of crazy when you're in this business. It's just when things go very smoothly, you start to wonder what's wrong. Like, where's the problem? There's got to be a problem in there somewhere, because things just don't very often go extremely smoothly, especially when it comes to loans and things like that, when it comes to doing things as far as whether it be buying a vehicle, trailer, whatever anybody's out there buying. But yeah, it went really smooth. I applied for it on Tuesday. I actually submitted the application Tuesday last week and had the money in my account yesterday. So, and that was an extreme help. I was really getting stressed out about that because work was so terrible, and got the other van down at the moment. And I mean, even if the van wasn't being worked on, wouldn't be on the road, because my driver is making better money doing DoorDash at the moment than he would be on the road. I wouldn't expect him to be on the road. But yeah, I was able to get that, and that was a huge burden lifted. Huge. But guys, I am pulling up to the house.